Hey plant pals, I'm Mike the Cat Gardener, and today's video is on this indoor hydroponic garden system. It's from the good people at Inbloom, and 4 months ago, back in December, they sent me this unit along with the one to give as a giveaway. So just as I was about to set this unit up to show it off and put it through its paces and review it, I found out that I had an aphid infestation, and I did not want to show a system that I couldn't properly put through its paces and show it properly growing things if I had aphids in my house. So I had to remove all the plants from my house. And in the meantime, I was getting offers to review other systems. I had to turn those down because in my conscience, yeah, they would have gave me the system for free to test and whatever, and I could have just did whatever I wanted with it because it would have been mine. But that's not how I operate. When I get something, I want to review it. I want to show it off. That's the fun for me, is testing these things. So my apologies to the people at Inbloom that I didn't get to this sooner, but I'm going to get to it now and really, hopefully, show what it can do. So this is going to be an unboxing, and I'm going to talk about some of the things I like. I haven't opened this. This has been unopened since I received it, so hopefully it's still in good. I haven't done anything to it, so it's been sitting there sealed. So I'm going to open it, unbox it, and talk about the things I like, some of the things I dislike. Yeah. All right. Oh, it's hitting my camera, so I'm going to have to move this box to the side here. I didn't account for that. This is a nice big unit. So here's the instructions, which, again, anybody knows me, I don't need because I've set up a million of these systems. So I'm going to set this box on the ground. I'm going to take it out and show you the system. So this is how it comes packaged. You have your foam thingies to protect it. You got your lid. So get you all this stuff. And I'm going to do everything again like I normally do. I love to do it to show you how I can unbox and set up a system real time. So here's the top. That's where your controls are. This plugs into the tower. This plugs into either the power, depending on how the system is set up. Usually this is connected to the power is connected to the unit, and then this connects to the pump so that it knows if it needs, so the alarm will go off and whatnot. But some systems are just the opposite, so we shall see. So this is a cord that's going to go to the light bar. This is your deck, of course, and this connects to here. This is for your water level indicator. So go ahead and push that in, and then there should be a clear dome that will go on the top, which you'll see when I get to it. Here's so they got the sponges and the covers and stickers and whatnot. I'll go through that in a minute. This is the plant food, which I don't use. I'm sure it's very good, but I like my own personal blend that I use. Here's the sponges. Here's the cover for that I was talking about. So I got that put on. Set this aside for a moment while we continue through. So this is the light bar. So here's the light bar. This is the bottom. This part goes in here. This is the top. And then this knob here is for raising and lowering. Now, one thing I would like for Inbloom to do in the future is to come up with a light bar system. Some of them use pneumatic, and they go to 0. See how tall this is? About 9 inches tall, 10 inches tall, or something like that. And so it's this tall from the start, which means the plants are going to have the potential of being leggy because they're going to reach up towards the light. Whereas if the deck here, let me show you. So if this deck, if you have your baskets in here and your deck is low, there's nothing for them to reach up to because their light's right above it. And then as the plant grows, you raise and raise and raise it. But this thing is going to be at what I would consider a maximum height to start off with. But we'll see. That's the whole point of this. They're not paying me. They wanted me to give my honest review. This is the power supply for US and Canada. So I'm going to do just that, because if they listen to my advice, I've had, 20, 30 of these different systems. Some were great, some not so great. Not this system in particular, but hydroponic systems. And if you watch my videos, you'll see that I really put them through their paces and get them to do all kinds of cool things, which I want everybody to do. And I want these companies to be able to show that kind of stuff off. Some of these companies will show like apples and oranges and stuff on the box, which will never happen in a hydroponic system, which I think is unfortunate. And but they can do some amazing things given the opportunity. I'm growing all kinds of hot peppers and tomatoes and herbs and all kinds of things. So I really love growing hydroponically. So anyway, back to this. But yeah, the reason why I talk about it is because if the companies adapt some of these easy changes, they'll have amazing systems that can easily compete with and actually beat the super high-end, more expensive systems, because a lot of those high-end expensive systems, their light bar doesn't go down to the deck surface. They don't have, multi-pointing pumps and stuff like that, which, again, if this one had like just a T connector and would put the water going this way and this way, this end is shorter, so it would naturally make that, and this one end is longer, so it would naturally make that convection. They have it pointing one way because they get the convection through that process. But if they had a T pump, it would work even better. But again, there's nothing inherently that I'm seeing that's wrong with this system. There are just a few tweaks that I could easily tell could make the system better. So here is the deck here, and here is where you plug it in. And then there's a little alarm there for when you have low water. The water's low, I'm assuming. Oops. Let's see. I always have a hard time doing these things on camera. Why is this? Oh, that's the power. That's the one for this. So the power supply, and that's another thing. I really prefer that they have the power, and I understand why they do it. It's because they don't want the electronics near the basin of the water and stuff, because it's an extra added layer of protection they have to put in. However, when you have this cord that reaches up, it can only go so high and so low. That's why you can see why it can't go very low, because if it was low, the cord might go into the water or whatever. And the power supply, we'll see how long this cord is. I'm having this system pretty close to my power supply, but I've had some issues where they've given you like a 2-foot long cord, meaning they kind of meant to have you have it for like a kitchen counter right by the outlet, which is fine, but that's not how I have my system set up. And so I need at least like a 6-foot cord to reach my power supply. And if the cord is only a certain length and it has to reach, instead of plugging back down here, if I have to plug it here, that's just added distance to the power supply. Yeah, see, I'm going to have an issue. This is about a 3-foot cord. So I'm going to have to find an extender. It's kind of a bummer, but I'll make do. All right. So this just goes under, snaps on the top here. And then you plug it in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go set this up where, because it's kind of boring to see it from this angle, I'm going to set it up where I'm going to have it set up while I do the testing of it, and I'll be back. All right, first things first is I'm going to fill the unit with my personal plant food that I use. So that's 1 gallon. Then I'll put the deck on and we'll see what the indicator says that we're at. So we are getting pretty close to the max. I'm going to put I'm going to add a little bit now. So this is your fill hole. But sometimes I just like to, if there's an open port, I just like to use that because it's a little bit smoother action. Because there's a bar that tells you, there's typically a bar, yeah, there's a bar down here that tells me where the max level is. And we're getting pretty close to it. I always add a teeny bit extra at the start just because the sponges will absorb. But speaking of which, I am going to be right back. All right, I'm back. This is not necessary, or this is not a commentary on the company or anything they provide, but I personally always, because this is made of a natural substance, this is usually compressed peat moss that comes from a swamp typically it comes from Scotland or Ireland, one of those countries, and it can have, even though a lot of these companies claim to treat them, they can have fungus gnats in them. So I always microwave them with water for 3 minutes, and it's just a easy method. Doesn't hurt the sponge, doesn't affect the growth or anything, but it will kill any pathogens or anything that may happen to be in the sponge. That's something I personally do. It's your garden, you do what you want. While I was waiting for the water to heat up, I was taking a look at their sponges. They use the competitors, the lesser known competitors size sponges. I'm just going to say it that way. Again, this is my review. I'm not being paid to say anything, so I say what I want. These are not your standard AeroGarden size sponges. These are iDo size sponges. And the same thing with these covers that are great that they provide. At least a lot of companies don't provide these. So when you have problem with a lot of people growing hydroponically is they get like mold and schmutz and algae in their water. And I've seen a lot of people, my friends' videos, and I tell them all the time, cover your ports, because they'll have it like this, or they're going to wait till they put something else in the sponge, and they'll just leave it like that, and then the light with water that has nutrients in it, you're going to get algae. So if you have a cover, no light gets to it. Some people even tape up these little holes. I haven't found that completely necessary, but it's not a bad idea to do it. And also, as I always say, if you're growing something that's relatively large, don't fill every port. But I'm going to test this unit out on some basil, and I'm going to put like 4 different types of basil in here. This is the cover for the whole thing there. And so I'm going to fill every one, but it's going to be with basil, which does not mind being crowded in as much, and I will thin it out, and if I have to, I will take it down from 1 to every one. I'll take some of them out and put them in different systems once it gets too big. See, a lot of people get upset because they'll fill every pod with like tomatoes or a variety of things that are all different heights and sizes, and some of them will block the light from each other, and it makes a big mess. And that just causes people to be upset and not want to grow hydroponically. So my tips are, if the companies want to listen to me, they could eliminate a lot of that easy fixes to fix upset for their customers. All right, so I've got the sponges, and these holes look to be pretty deep. Yeah, they're nice and deep. What I like to do is, again, these are just steps that I like to take because sometimes these can be really dense. This one is not. This one's nice and porous, as you can see. So I really don't have to worry about that one, which is good. So I'm going to drop the sponges in. And what I'm going to do, again, this isn't something that the company asked you to do, but this is my unit. I'm giving it my best practices to give it its best growing conditions. Is I will cover these because they didn't even provide stickers to cover the pods, and a lot of people will leave them like this, light, nutrients. Sometimes you'll get like the mycelium moldy action going on there, and it's not harmful. You can just wipe it with your finger and it's fine. But if you want your system to look neat and clean, get some foil, put it over there, punch a hole, and after you put the seeds in first, let's make it easier, and I'll be back. All right, so we got the basils here ready to go. I'm going to just tap a couple. These are very small seeds. I have this little tool that you can use to do it, but because these are very tiny seeds, it makes it kind of fiddly to use that. So I'm just going to make a little lip like this and just tap a couple in per hole. So this is going to be the least exciting part of the video. I might speed it up. I'm not sure yet. Okay, got one. Sure, I had one. Oh, there we go. So I like to put 2 per cell just to ensure germination, and I'll pluck one out. So I'm just going to use what they provide is these little stickers. So these 2. And the reason why I don't like stickers is because I've got big hands and it's hard for me to. I don't have any fingernails, so I'm just tearing the paper and not getting the sticker. You ever have one of those days where just everything fights you? There we go. All right. So these are the red Reuben. These are going to be opal. These here or here are going to be purple. And then here are going to be cinnamon. All right. Now I get back to. So I've got my cinnamon. I might as well do that one. So I got the pack in my hand. So you're going to be a cinnamon. Okay, got 2 in there. And if I get 3 or whatever, it's not a big deal. Or 4. All right. So that's the cinnamon. This is going to be the opal. I forgot which one I did. Oh well. Okay. Okay. Seriously. Sometimes I can get it to follow the line of my fingers. Sometimes I can't. Yeah. This is going to be one of those days. All right. hopefully I didn't already use this one. See, that's why I like to write on the deck, because then I can mark each one and know which ones I already did. But because it's moisture, that's my fault. All right. What's left? Purple. So I'll be able to tell in a day or two if I got germination and which ones I didn't properly seed. So I don't remember if I see. Oh, this one's got seeds on the lips, so I know this one's seeded. So these two are going to be purple. Okay. Losing seeds on the top there. Get over here. Get down. Get. I might put one more in there just to make sure I got some. Like I said, one of those days where everything wants to fight you. All right. So, yeah, as I said, you know, because I'm trying to do this stuff. When I do this stuff off camera, it takes me literally like 5 minutes. It's taking me like almost 30 minutes to do it on camera because I'm trying to make sure my shots are good and whatnot. Well, as good as for my chaotic self. So what I do is I put a little foil over the top, punch a hole, so that it has something to come out of when it reaches for out for the light. I'm not going to show you all that. I'm just going to repeat it for all of these. I'll be back. All right. So last thing that I like to do, again, not necessary, a weak hydrogen peroxide in water solution to help ensure germination. I'll fix those. I'll make those a little bit more tighter sealed to the thing later. I'm just trying to wrap this up. Because again, like I said, doing everything on camera is kind of a pain. And again, keep in mind, what I do is not necessarily what the company is going to want you to do, but I just know what works well for me. And the proof is all the things that I grow inside. All right. I'm going to pause it so you don't have to watch me do this, unless some people are into that ASMR, but I guess, but no. All right. So we're set up and we're good to go. Again, I will correct this jiggle issue here, but it's all right. It's not going to hurt anything. It doesn't have to be hermetically sealed. It just needs to be on good enough to keep the humidity in there. Because, you know, you got moisture down below, of course. So a quick review back on the things I like and things I wish they would improve, and hopefully they will. But it's a nice looking unit. It's got the full wood grain on there. It's white. I like it. We'll see. I'm going to put it through its paces and give it an honest review. If something goes haywire with it, then I'll definitely tell you. If it grows great, then you'll see it all the time because it'll always be in my my videos. Anyway, any comments, questions, leave the comment section. I'm happy to discuss all things hydroponic and systems and what makes a good system and what makes a great system. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Have an awesome day.